What's going on, guys? Back with Free Code Camp's new responsive web design, and we're going to continue doing the cafe menu. Let me know if you like the dark mode. I decided to switch it up a bit. But here we go. Notice the gray color along the edges of the line. Those edges are known as borders. Each side of an element can have a different color, or they can all be the same. Make all the edges of the HR element the same color as the background of it using the border color. So border color, and I'm going to set that to brown. Oops. Okay. Notice how the thickness of the line looks bigger. The default value of a property named border width is 1 pix for all edges of HR elements. By changing the border to the same color as the background, the total height of the line is 5 pixels, 3 pixels plus the top and bottom width of 1 pix. Change the height property of the HR to be 2 pixels, so the total height of it is then 4. Go ahead and add another HR element between the main element and the footer element. So main element and footer. Right here. HR. To create a little more room around the menu, add 20 pixels of space on the inside of the body element by using the padding property. So body, and we're going to do padding, and we're going to add 20 pixels. I didn't see where that changed anything. Let's see if we change it to 10 pixels, what it does. Oh, I see. Okay. Focusing on the menu items and prices, there is a fairly large gap between each line. Target all the P elements nested in elements with the class named item and set their top and bottom margin to be 5 pixels. So I don't think we have one of those already. So we're going to go ahead and do, what do we do? Item P, and we're going to do top margin 5 pix, bottom margin 5 pix. I don't think that's right. Yeah, I did it backwards. So this should be margin top. Thought I was doing that backwards. And this should be margin bottom. That looks better. Using the same style selector in the previous step, make the font size of the items and prices larger by using a value of 18 pixels. Okay, so using the same style selector, so this one, we're going to do font size 18 pixels. Changing the margin bottom to 5 pix looks great. However, now the space between cinnamon roll menu item and the second HR element does not match the space between the top HR element and the coffee heading. Sure doesn't. Add some more space by creating a class named bottom line using 25 pix for the margin top property. So we're going to call a class dot bottom line, and we're going to set that to margin top 25 pix. Oh, I gotta put a dash in there. Now add bottom line to class to the second HR element. So HR class equals bottom line. Next, you are going to be styling the footer element. To keep the CSS organized, add a comment at the end of style CSS with the text footer. So we're going to do, what was comment again? Comment again. This slash this. No, I think it was opposite way. Footer. No, I think what is it? Star slash. It must be /star. There we go. Moving down to the footer element, make all the text have a value of 14 pics. Okay, so we're going to do dot footer text, font size 14 pixels. You should have a footer selector. I do have a footer selector. Dot footer. Am I spelling something wrong? No. Yeah, it is dot font size. You should have a footer selector. So do I go here? Where's our footer? And do class equals footer. You should have a footer selector. Do I not have a footer selector? Footer. Dot footer. Curly brackets. Font size. What am I missing here? Footer class equals footer. I have that in there. How do I ask for help on this one? Because I am like, let's restart it. Moving down to the footer element, make all the text have a value of 14 pics for the font. I don't understand why we commented out footer and then we're doing a footer element, but dot footer, curly brackets, font size 14 pixels. Check your code. Code does not match. Does not pass. What am I doing wrong? Font size 18 pixels, 14 pixels. Maybe I need to get rid of the comment. I don't think that's true because the comment should have been, let's reset. Alright, so footer. We're going to set this to footer class equals footer. Uh-oh. I think it's freezing on us, guys. I'm not sure what's happening. Footer, okay. And now there's no place to submit. So I feel like something is messed up here. Let's refresh. Alright, we're gonna do dot footer, curly brace, text size 14 pics. Check. Code does not pass. What am I doing wrong? Dot footer. Font size. That wasn't it. I thought it was because I put text size, not font size. Font size. Dot footer. And it's closed. You should have a footer selector. I believe I have a footer selector because here's the footer. Footer. Maybe it's not class. I think it is class though. So class price. So it should be class equals footer. I mean, it's changing the thing. I just don't understand. You should have a footer selector. I do have a footer selector. Oh, maybe it's not dot footer. That's what it was. Oh my gosh. One little thing was preventing me from moving on. The default color of a link that has not yet been clicked on is typically blue. The default color of a link that has already been visited from a page is typically purple. To make the footer links the same color regardless if a link has been visited, use a type selector for the anchor element A and use the value black for the color property. So we need to get rid of that. And we need to go use what now? We need to go down to the footer, and for here, a href, blah, blah, blah. And we have the target, and we need to use the color equal black. Use a type selector for the A. Oh no. Okay. Restart. And I don't need that at all. I need to go A and then do color black. There we go. You change properties of a link when the link has actually been visited by using pseudo selector that looks like a visited, property name, property value. Change the color of the footer, visit our website link to be gray whenever a user has visited. So we're going to use a, well, alright, so a visited is going to be visit our website property value no. You should set the color property to gray. A visited delete that. A visited didn't mean to click that. And also, I'm not doing this right. So, A visited property name, property value. So probably color gray. There we go. I made that entirely more difficult than it needed to be. Alright, ask me later. You change properties of a link when the mouse hovers over them by using a pseudo selector that looks like a hover property and property value. Change the color of the footer visit our website link to be brown when a user hovers over it. So A visited, A hover, property, no, not property name, color, we just learned that, brown. Okay, you change properties of a link when the link is actually being clicked by using a pseudo selector that looks like active, property name, property value. Change the color of the footer of visitor website to be white when clicked on. Alright, so we're going to do a active property, no, property name. I keep trying to do that. That's not it. So we're going to do a color, white, to keep with the same color theme you have already been using, black and brown. Change the color for when the link is visited to black. And use brown for when the link is actually clicked. Okay. The menu text Camper Cafe has a different space from the top than the address space at the bottom of the menu. This is due to the browsers having some difficulty having some default top margin for the H1 element. Change the top margin of the H1 element to margin top to 0. To remove some of the vertical space between the H1 element and the text establish 2020, change the bottom margin of the H1 to 15. So margin bottom 15. Now the top spacing looks good. The space below the address at the bottom of the menu is a little bigger than the space at the top of the menu in the H1 element. To decrease the default margin space below the address P element, create a class selector named address and use the value 5px for the margin bottom properly. So create a class selector. So did we already do that over here? I don't think we did. So, no. So class equals address. And then we need to do dot address. And then we need to do margin bottom 5 pixels. Now apply the address class IP element, which I already did, but we're gonna do it again. The menu looks good, but other than the coffee beans background image, it is mainly just text. Under the coffee heading, add an image using the URL. So we're going to do image source equals https://cdn.curriculum/curriculum/cafe/coffee.jpg. Give the image an alt value of coffee icon. So alt equals coffee icon. That's not right. Oh, it is right. That must be self-closing. Alright. It messed up. The image you added is not centered horizontally like coffee, heading above it. Image elements are like inline elements. To make the image behave like heading elements, which are block level, create an image type selector and use the value block. So we're going to do image and block for the display block. And use the applicable margin left and margin right values to center it. 50%, margin right, 50%. You should set the display property to block. We did that. Oh. Display. Oh, we gotta set this to auto. Auto. Okay. Add one last image under the desserts heading using the URL image source equals https://cdn.free.camp.org/curriculum/css.cafe/pi.jpg. Give the item an alt pi icon. Did I type this wrong? https://cdn freecodecamp.org/curriculum/css/cafe/pi.jpg. Alt value of pi icon. Let me copy this and see if maybe I typed it wrong. It looks right. I must have typed it wrong. Okay. It would be nice if the vertical space between the H2 elements and their associated icons was smaller. The H2 elements have default top and bottom margin space, so you could change the bottom margin of the H2 elements to say 0 or another number. There is an easier way. Simply add a negative top margin to the image elements to pull them up from their current positions. Negative values are created using a negative in front of the value. To complete this project, go ahead and use a negative top margin of 25 pixels in the image type selector. So we're going to do margin top negative 25 pixels. Okay, and that's it. Alright guys, we've completed our cafe menu, and next it looks like we're going to be making some CSS color markers, but for now, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!